Hey yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Tylarious, aka Ty Killington. Yeah, man. All right. In this video, I'll be talking about the brand new Declasse Yosemite 1500. All right. I will not only be reviewing the customization, we'll also be discussing the performance, top speed, and average lap time around a track, and then what we all really need to know, the off-road capability of this truck. All right. Now, the Yosemite 1500 is based off of the 1999 to 2002 Chevy Silverado 1500. Okay. This vehicle came in not only a 4.8, but also a 5.3 V8 gas engine. Funny enough, though, the Yosemite 1500 engine noise, or the engine sound, is actually based off of the V8 diesel that was with this model as an option. However, it must be talked about that this vehicle came with arguably one of the best V8 engines ever created. The 5.3 liter with 285 horsepower and 325 foot-pound torque that came coupled with a 4L60E 4-speed automatic transmission. She has a towing capacity of 9,500 pounds and a payload capacity of almost 2,000 pounds. Rear-wheel drive, and obviously they were locked up in posi-track, baby. Let's go! One of the most iconic American trucks ever. The 325 cubic inch Vortec engine paired up with some silver ceramic Doug Thorley Tri-Y long tube headers into some high-flow MagnaFlow catalytic converters into a true dual with an X pipe for back pressure into 40 series Delta Flowmasters turned down, dumped right after the axle is one of the best things you will ever hear in your lifetime. Let me get a motherfucking amen. Hallelujah. Yes, sir. Oh, my goodness. All right. So listen, don't sleep on this truck. I know it's very unassuming. It seems like it's bland and meh. I get that, all right? But don't sleep on it, okay? Real quick, before we go any further with the customization, let's talk about the price. You can pick up the Declasse Yosemite 1500 for $1,205,000. So for GTA, it's on it's one of the cheaper vehicles, right? Especially for this DLC. However, it's still over $1 million, so the customization needs to be good. And yes, we do. We got great customization with this vehicle. We're looking at the hoods right now. You get the dual vented, not too bad. The carbon's okay. The scooped hood, this is actually one of the real hoods that was a customizable option for this truck. But most people that were souping these up and customizing them, they all went with the cowl hood. The cowl hood is like a classic for this particular pickup truck and for a lot of trucks out there. You got the forced induction with the dual filter blower, then the large filter blower as well looks really nice. You got the oval intake bug catcher and the triple intake bug catcher. And yes, the actual vent flaps, they do work, which is nice. I love that. Moving on to the liveries, good amount of liveries in here as well. White stripes, black stripes. You got the Disruption Logistics. Looks pretty cool. You got the Terror Oil Race, which is nice. Kind of has like a Baja style kind of theme to it. The Auto Exotic, the Thrift X camo. Exorbio 720 camo, the pinstripe yellow. The pinstripe red looks really good. And then some more subtle customization. You got the mirrors. You have a couple of different options, the chrome and the carbon. Not too bad. Customized plates you can put on there, obviously. You can check that out. Moving on to the paints, you've got the primary, secondary, trim, and then you have the crew emblem you can place on there as well. The primary, it comes as stock as a two-tone. So keep that in mind. And the secondary, you can either mix match, whatever you want to do. I wish there was an option to debadge. Take off those the door guards, take off the actual emblems, to kind of debadge it out. That was really popular with these vehicles. Of course, you got the roll cage options, which will add a roll cage in the bed of the truck. The rear utility rear cage with fuel cell, pretty cool. I like that. Again, kind of has that Baja style look to it. Could throw some sun strips on there. And there's also a skirt upgrade option, but these will actually put on side steps And following with the theme of this DLC, the side steps are pretty large. They they add those wings, kind of like the bail enforcement van does. So I mean, keep in mind these may get you caught up on a rock or something or a curb. So be aware of that. Moving on to the spoilers, you got low level ducktail, mid, high, carbon. You got some GT wings on there as well. Please don't put a GT wing on this truck, okay, guys? Don't do that, just please. With the suspension, I'm kind of bummed out. For the longest time, I've been screaming. I'm not even a big off-road guy. I'm more of like a pro street type kind of guy when it comes to cars. But we've got so much nature and wilderness and mountains and awesome trails. Why don't we have like a legitimate off-road lift kit like garage, something like Benny's or Hal's, but you can throw this up on some 35s with a 3-inch suspension and a 3-inch body lift, right? You know what I mean? And we should also be able to have the option, because this truck, you could do so much with this. You could slam it, put it on a 2.4 drop. You know what I mean? You could level out. You could tuck the wheels back there. 2.4 drop on some 22s. I mean, it just looked amazing. Or you could lift it up, 3-inch body, 3-inch suspension on 38s. We should be able to do both of those. The truck drives really good, but let's talk about the performance. And there's really not much with it. Top speed, 97.08 miles per hour. And this vehicle actually did have a governor on it at 101. So it would govern out at 101 miles per hour. So that's kind of accurate right there. Average lap time, again, nothing special. But I have to stress this to you guys. The vehicle, it's got so much grip. It's different. It really is. But average lap time around a track, not very, even for the off-roads, 1 minute 4.875. So it's just not there, unless you're just racing with all these, Yosemite 1500s. Let's get to the real, the nitty-gritty here, what everybody needs to know. And that's the off-road capability of this truck. And it's not looking good up front, because this vehicle doesn't have, it's got the suspension, the springiness to it, right? But it, because it is a longer wheelbase, because this is a extended cab, it needs to have those larger tires to make up for that longer wheelbase, or your vehicle is going to bottom out. And you're going to have issues, just getting involved into an off-road situation because you don't have the ground clearance. The bumpers are going to keep getting caught up. But please, if you've been with me this long, stick with me. Do not count this truck out yet. All right, it's got some very unique and very, very good features. And we'll see that here in just a moment. But as I continue on with the off-road course, I mean, you can see it's got limitations. It really does. It needs that lift kit at the very least, even with, the suspension that it has, just some bigger tires. That would really help out this vehicle, definitely. Because it does suffer from top-end speed, the lack of top-end speed, that also hinders it as well. But listen, though, while I was testing, I came to the realization this vehicle, again, the grip and the front tires appear to have a little bit more power than the rear, which is a good thing and it's a bad thing. I like to, for an off-road vehicle, it should just be kind of like a 50-50. But this feels almost like 55-45, maybe like 60-40 almost front to rear. And we'll see how that comes into play here in just a moment. We get to the infamous rock wall, the rock wall of death, the breaker of off-road vehicles here. And you can just tell instantly, the Yosemite 1500, it just doesn't have the ground clearance. And just, from a almost standstill, just not enough, raw torque to get up over these rocks and just force it. When you're doing these off-roads, you want to try not to just destroy the vehicle, right? But even when you pick up some speed on this, it's just very difficult to get over this first little barrier on this wall with these larger boulders. Try and take the little bit easier side of the rock wall here. And you can see it's trying to, it wants to get it, but that long wheelbase paired up with those smaller tires, and it just keeps on bottoming out. Even when you pick up some speed and get it up there, when it's almost there, it just can't get it. It just doesn't have that raw torque and top-end power, and it just bottom out a lot, right? And you see that here again. But another good thing, the suspension is very bouncy, so it does help kind of, force over some of those obstacles. But this is really where you start to see it shine. This is where the 1500 makes up on a lot of things right here. This bad boy, it just wants to stick to the ground so well. And it's very, very grippy. You see right here, even with a low top speed, the traction is so impressive. It kind of makes up for that. I say kind of, not totally, but it helps out with that. It just keeps on clawing away. I mean, we're pretty much on a straight up vertical right here. You know, that's very impressive for a vehicle that has, you know, lower top end speed. So, you know, it's what I'm starting to realize is that it may not be the best rock crawler, but it's going to be a good trail truck. And another place where the Yosemite 1500 really excels is the water off-roading. I mean, you can pretty much fully submerge this thing. And as long as you can kind of just keep it, you know, bumping off the ground a little bit, it's going to go all the way through. As long as those tires can get traction and keep, you know, moving the vehicle forward, as long as it doesn't just, you know, stall out, you're good to go. And I mean, I'm fully underwater right there. Can barely see the roof of the truck. And this is all just in one go. I mean, it kept on going. It was really nice. That's very, very satisfying right there. It's good to see. I've seen, you know, very, very good off-road vehicles totally crap out with the water test. And it's very, very disappointing. I mean, I'm pretty much submerged right there. And as long as those tires can keep getting some traction and keep moving. And again, I think it can do that because it has such good traction. Well, let's actually climb Mount Chiliad here. Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about. This thing, I mean, we're on pretty much pure verticals here. And even in the rain, it was raining, coming down really, I mean, it was like a lot of rain. This bad boy was still wanting to just claw away at the dirt and the rocks. And as long as there wasn't too much in the way, you know, size of boulders and things like that, we're good to go. And even then, as long as you can kind of just keep the momentum going, the traction will hold. I mean, we are almost straight up and down right here. It is just very, very grippy, and the Yosemite 1500 absolutely excels in that department. So like I said, you know, it lacks that top end speed. It's slow around the track, but this is a oddly satisfying off-road truck, even though it doesn't look like an off-road truck. The Yosemite 1500 is a competent vehicle when it comes to off-roading. Just not so much with, you know, heavy rock climbing and crawling, but, you know, mainly sticking to the trails, or if you just want to scale Mount Chiliad. I mean, look, we're on the last part right here of the, funny enough, Old Man's Crack. And, I mean, even with the rain, I'm able to scale pretty good. And I believe if I had that better top-end speed, maybe a little bit bigger tires, I would have got up there. But when the rain stopped and it dried up, the traction got better. And the Yosemite 1500 made it up the Old Man's Crack. I mean, come on, man. That's all you need right there. So there you guys have it. Do I recommend that you purchase this vehicle? Listen, yeah, it's not going to win any races in the off-road class. You don't have to have it. You need to have it, okay? Now, if you don't have the money, don't worry about wasting it. But I mean, it's just a cool nostalgia. A lot of you that played this game, your dad may have drove this truck. Maybe you had this truck at one time, right? So it's just a cool vehicle to have. It is nostalgia. It's a good collector's vehicle. And surprisingly, like I said, it is a satisfying and competent off-road vehicle. So there you guys have it, all right? Let me know what you think about the Yosemite 1500 in the comments down below. Are you guys going to purchase it or not? Let me know. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel for the illest reels content in the game. Smash that like button. And I'll see you guys in the next video, all right? Peace out. Yeah.